Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Archaeology Discoveries number 8. This discovery, the first thing I want to tell you is that this is an 1,000-year-old item pulled out from a lake by a young Swedish girl. A 9-year-old girl found a 1,000-year-old sword. An amazing thing. 1,000-year-old sword found in a lake. She was playing in a lake. She was coming out of a lake. She stumbled upon a piece of metal, and then the metal turned out to be a 1,000-year-old sword. What she found. This girl was not an archaeologist, but it was an amazing discovery that some Swedish 9-year-old girl would find something over 1,000 years old, or 1,000-year-old, or a little less. It's so amazing she would find a sword of 1,000-year-old or less. It says over here, dating back to the 5th or 6th century AD, predating the Viking era by hundreds of years. This She stepped on a rusty old piece of metal while playing in the Vidozern Lake. The museum experts, courtesy of history.com. This is courtesy of history.com. The sword, the museum experts estimated 1,000 years old. And this sword there, it was the era of the 5th or 6th century. The next thing I'm going to discover, a deadly earthquake in Mexico led to discovery of an ancient Aztec temple, courtesy of history.com as well. In the wake of the devastating earthquake back in September 2017, archaeologists used radar to scan the 13th century Tezonco pyramid south of Mexico City, dedicated to the Aztec rain god, whatever the Aztec, one of their gods, what other religions believe in, but I'm not going to go into that so much for potential damage. Instead, they found traces of an even older temple inside, dating back to 1150 AD. Later in the year, another team of researchers confirmed the existence of a hidden tunnel underneath the pyramid of the moon in the ancient city of Teotihuacan, which they think its builders might have intended as symbolic passage to the underworld. Another thing, archaeology number 8. Number 8 on the list of courtesy of history.com. We got a lot more information about our ancient ancestors' relationship lives. While we've known for a while that our modern human ancestors interbreed with Neanderthals, we learned this year that also slept around with the mysterious ancient human relative known as the Denisovans. Adding to the growing impression that ancient hominins mixed and mingled with abandoned DNA evidence also revealed that early modern humans in Neanderthals had many more encounters than previously believed, and that Neanderthals and Denisovans also slept with each other. That's a great discovery, information about relationship lives with ancient ancestors. The next thing I'm going to talk about, something with laser lights revealed 60,000 previous undetected ancient Maya structures in Guatemala. This is in Guatemala, structures using a technology called LIDAR. This is courtesy of history.com as well. Researchers scanned more than 800 miles of the Maya Biosphere Reserve in Petén, Guatemala, and found tens of thousands of farms, houses, and defensive structures, along with miles of roads and canals. The staggering find contradicted the assumption that Maya city states in the area between 1000 BC and 15,000 AD, 1500 AD, were isolated and sparsely populated, suggesting they housed more people and were far more interconnected than anyone suspected. This is holy territory, tweeted one archaeologist about the discoveries. The next one you're going to find, archaeologists found a horse and a gorgeous shrine frozen in ashes of Pompeii. Pompeii, India. Pompeii, nearly 2,000 years after the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, a volcano which happened there, devastated the ancient Roman city of Pompeii, which is an ancient city in Italy. Pompeii was in Italy. I read a story about that in third grade, which doesn't matter now, which is out of the question because it was a make-believe story. Archaeologists made two amazing discoveries, starting with the intact body of an ancient horse. They also stumbled on an elaborate, perfectly preserved shrine and vibrantly colored wall paintings depicting an enchanted garden hidden for centuries in the ash covered ruins of a home that likely belonged to the wealthy Pompeian family. Another discovery, the world's oldest shipwreck was located at the bottom of the Black Sea. By the time the Anglo-Bulgarian research team, this is also courtesy of history.com, the last thing I'm going to talk about today, located the wreck of an ancient Greek merchant ship off the Bulgarian coast. A lack of oxygen had preserved the vessel virtually intact, masts still standing, and routers in place for more than 2,400 years. It's one of some 60 wrecks, including Roman-era trading ships and a 17th century Cossack fleet, that the team has discovered during its 3-year mission to plumb the depths of the Black Sea using sonar and deep diving robots. So about these 4 archaeological discoveries, I'm going to explain the 5 archaeological discoveries that I talked about. We're gonna explain a little bit about it. So this sword, it's an amazing discovery. An 8-year-old girl. I meant to say an 8-year-old girl back in the video. I thought it was 9, but it was 8. She pulled out a 1,000-year-old sword out of a lake in Sweden. Explaining it. So it's not only is it an amazing discovery, but it might not have monetary value, but it has sentimental value towards the city or whatever country it's in. Sweden, whatever country, Sweden, Europe, it has sentimental value to Sweden. If it has monetary value, if it has historical value, it can be sold for millions and millions, but I don't know if it has historian value. Shh. I don't know if it has any value monetary, but I know it has value for ancient things. So let me explain the next discovery. An earthquake in Mexico. In Mexico, there was an ancient temple. In September 2017, they scanned, there's a radar that archaeologists use. It's a temple in Mexico City. It was known to the rain god. They found traces of an even older temple inside. It was dated back to the times of, like, I think after Yashkar, after whatever time that is. It was dated back to a couple of thousand years ago, 1150 AD. So what I have to say, these are amazing discoveries are led to believe that actual life existed before the current times. Were actual lives that did exist before this current time, but we didn't know that till archaeologists recently estimated and discovered. So this 10-minute long, a little more than 10-minute video I have for you. Subscribe to my channel, everyone, if you want, and I'll have more videos come up later on soon. Thank you and have a good Sunday, everyone. Bye. You